Well, hello. It's been a few days since I've seen you, but I'm trying to post content on here one day a week live, and then so you can see it all week long if you're interested. But my life is very busy. I've got grandkids, I've got all kinds of things going on. And this isn't, for me, this is not my job. This is just something I occasionally would like to do. And the reason is I'm not one of those people who want to comment on everything going on. I don't want my life to be about, oh, I can use that as content on my YouTube. I want to bring you things that I think are important, and that is not going to happen every day. That's not going. It may not happen every week, but I do want to. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to comment about things I don't know about, and things that I don't think. Even if I were to have known about it, unless I have something to add to the conversation, unless I have something that I think needs to be heard, I don't believe you need to have an opinion about every single thing. So I'm about to go into do some content today that I'm also going to do live, but I wanted to do this one first. And the reason I wanted to do it first is because I think, okay, when you do something wrong, God expects you to repent and to go to the person that you've wronged and say, I'm sorry, and reconcile with them. And I think it's time now for Adventists. Seventh-day Adventist, you have had the truth put in front of your online. The truth is everywhere. If you were to just do a little tiny bit of searching, you would know the truth. We have apologetics, Catholic apologetics online, Protestants apologetics online. There is no excuse anymore to not know that you are promoting error against your Christian brothers and sisters. And I would say, a lot of people would just say, "Oh, you're lying." Well, I'm not going to say you're lying because that means that gives the idea of intent, and I don't think the Adventists are intending to lie. I think they've just heard lies so much, and that to them it's truth, and then they go around saying it. And you can go to a Catholic website. You can go to a Catholic mass. There is no excuse for you not knowing that that Catholics, we worship every day. To a Catholic, there is no such thing as a day of worship. That is not Catholic. That's a Protestant belief. Catholics from the very beginning, just like the Jews worshiped every single day at the temple in Jerusalem. Catholics worship every single day at the altar in our churches, and we go to the holy sacrifice of the Mass. Now, not to say all Catholics do that, but it's available. We have a day on Sunday that is a holy day of obligation that we're supposed to meet once a week. So Catholics must go to church once a week, and they would prefer it to be on Sunday. Now, it can be on Saturday. There are, to fulfill that obligation once a week, it can be on Saturday or on Sunday. And there is no excuse anymore for Adventists to say that we teach the wrong day of worship, that Catholics have that there is this conspiracy against Adventists and against Christianity that we have chosen the wrong day to worship. Well, there is no such thing as a wrong day to worship. And I think even Adventist verbiage is starting to understand that, and they're starting to reflect that in the way they say things. Well, yes. We know that there's no such thing as a wrong day to worship on, but God only made one a holy day. And so let's talk about the things in which we really disagree with. Now, we do not believe we are obligated to rest on Sabbath anymore in the same way that Adventists teach that. So in that sense, that's where we would disagree, is that we don't have to rest. But this idea that we're going to go after Adventists one day because they worship on Sabbath um, is just ridiculous. And as a matter of fact, 10 times as many Catholics in America, statistically, 10 times as many Catholics in America go to church on Saturday as Adventists go to church on Saturday. So we're not going to persecute you for going to church on Sabbath. We won't. Now we have some disagreements, and we have disagreements with lots of people, not just with Adventists, with Protestants too. Theological disagreements, but there is a prophecy in Adventism that causes them to break a commandment. And that commandment is that you should not bear false witness against your neighbor. And you've been doing that since the beginning. You bear false witness against Catholics. And I've seen a lot of Adventists that will, when I talk to them about it, and I'm not a confrontative type of person, but when I discuss it with them, they will admit, well, yes, we know, we understand that. But then they will never come back and say, you know what? We have been slandering you. That is actually true. We have been bearing false witness against our Catholic neighbors for this entire time. We're sorry. Now, I think both of us, there's lots of stuff Catholics have done that is wrong, and that it is right to point it out. And it is right to we have, it's not just to the Adventists, but to the whole world. We have said we're sorry about Catholic abuse and all this kind of stuff. We have, and we need to continue to do it. But this needs to be a two-sided thing. We need to, as Christians, come together and say we're sorry when we have slandered and borne a false witness against each other. And that's just what I wanted to say for just a minute. And I'm going to get to my other stuff, my other live stuff. But I just thought, it's not an excuse anymore just to pretend it never happened, to ignore it, to ignore the past, to say, oh yeah, well, y'all have your problems too. Of course we do. But we all need to repent and say we're sorry when we've done terrible things against each other. And what Adventists have done is base their entire religion on false witness against Catholics. So anyway, that's all I want to say. God bless, and I'll see you in a minute.